Channel switched.
Apologies to anyone who's still viewing the stream. I was a bit late for the start of this match. I think I don't have the timer, but I do have the lane information, I do believe. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch the fight. Currently here on the Crooks to Crooks lane we have PTSD versus VOON. I'm a little bit late to the party here, so I do apologise. This map didn't have a streamer, so I'm hoping I can cover the gap where I can.
Channel switched.
The Brownie sovereignty has taken the facility.
Apologies to anyone who's still viewing the stream. I was a bit late for this. They are doing well to keep this VS at bay.
User joined your channel.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you. How's it looking so far?
The PTSD guys on TR are doing quite well at keeping the VS currently at bay. Unlike the previous game with WFAT and TMNT, this seems to be a fight primarily in the air. Like we're seeing we're seeing Liberator, we're seeing ESF, and
it's really good to see like this nice kind of air battle that's going on, because honestly, you only had about maybe 4 or so pilots from each side that were kind of fighting from the last game. But this, yeah, it's shocking to see how much air there is.
I mean, we do see quite a lot of VS like Liberators, like really overextending, not really doing much to impact the ground game. That's mainly probably because the TR do have like an anti-air nest up, but at the same time they're not really making that much of an impact. I mean, we're about to see a VS Galaxy get essentially beaten back by that air nest.
Oh yeah, they've got themselves nice anti-air over here by the building. The TR, like I think there was only like 1 or 2 people I can see over in that Galaxy currently that they're trying to push back, but I'm shocked at how much the air is extending as well from Vanu's side. It's either I see air that's like at least a good two hexes away from where they're capping the point right now.
I mean, you see a Liberator on the side trying to deal with that anti-air nest and not even making like that much of a difference. But we do see a few VS Galaxy trying to worm their way in, and it makes me wonder if that's mainly because the TR have the capture point on Black Shadow Tungsten, which they do. Not a very big force. It's like the majority of the VS are in the air.
I'm currently just having a look at a Vanu that's in a harasser currently on point here at Amherst ARX as well. I can't cap the point, of course, but they're making an effort.
Well, we're not seeing that. Sorry.
I was going to say that because they currently got the cap at Black Shard Tungsten, but you have so many Vanu that are still over, that are kind of wandering around Amherst ARX that are, I think, don't have the call yet to even respawn. I still see at least 2 people heading towards the point here, and they're a minute forward, nearly 2 minutes 40 left on Black Shard Tungsten.
You see that the VS are finally recalling, and I've just seen 2 Galaxies crash, and several Liberators just get absolutely wiped out. But it just seems that the VS are primarily air.
It finally looks like they're getting a bit of cohesion now. TR have grouped up quite well on the A point here. Black Shard and Vanu are trying to get themselves in. They've got air superiority right now, at least. And they're trying to... Oh, Liberator coming in. Swing and a miss, though, from that one.
But he's done his job. He's got the VS to stop focusing the building.
Yeah.
But we even have a cheeky Mag Rider which has managed to like climb its way up the mountainside.
I feel like they're focusing a lot right now on using their vehicles to take them down. There's no... Oh, here comes the infantry from the Galaxy finally. They've got some people currently in the Valkyrie right now as well. They've got so many people that just don't seem like they're getting much use out of...
I mean, the Mag Rider essentially is like blocking one entrance. But I think they have been wiped, though. They have been wiped. And now they have to wait 2 minutes 20 before they can even, like, capitalize on that success. And no doubt the TR could come in at any second with just an infiltrate, just to keep putting that pressure on.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye just to see if anything might pop in.
I mean, obviously we've come a bit late to this match, but so far I'm not seeing like that much use for Liberators yet, unless they're just specifically targeting like Galaxies or Casvals.
Well, I can see those. Oh, I can see it's going to be useful at least. Like looking at this harasser, you've got the Liberator and then two scythes. Sorry, not the Liberator. The Valkyrie 2 scythes taking down that harasser with ease. So it's melting the stuff like that, and that's going to be very useful.
But as we see the VS now like turn their attentions onto Orange Dark Reserve, you do see that return of that TR anti-air.
I'll give him one thing. The amount of air present does make the mobility of the ground forces a lot easier. Having that superiority means that with the Gao that's around, you've got the Gao that's currently on from Vanu. That's going to be able to move between the bases with so much ease while they're controlling the skies. So TR are now sitting up here at Emmerich, Arcs Reserve. I don't know if I can see too many of them pushing up. I'm on currently observing on the Vanu side. I think they might be looking to set up for a defense here. Oh, look at this glory harasser on point.
I think we're just waiting now for the for that timer to count down a black shard, just so the VS can start to get the Galaxy going and start to drop imagery on the point, and the Galaxy should be leaving anytime soon, and this is the perfect time for one single TR infiltrate, just to sneak onto that point and just literally ruin that VS Galaxy push.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully we'll start to see the Scythes and the Liberators start to target that nest, just allow that Galaxy just to drop these guys off.
Well, TR have a beautiful defense currently set up. So this is going to be the perfect opportunity to delay Vanu as much as possible and keep them outside, just so they can get one of the single guys over here to Blackshard. So whether they pull that off successfully, I can see that currently TR have a harasser that's lingering around Blackshard, and I'm not seeing any Vanu around in the area as well. Oh no, I do see one.
We do see, we now have a VS push onto Amherst Dark Reserve, and the VS do have a point, do have the capture point, but he had many maxes, but only one medic survived in order to actually flip the point to VS. Sorry, not a medic, sorry, an engineer. One engineer to service 5 VS maxes. The only person who can flip the point. Hopefully we start to see more VS infantry coming in to support this push, but their reliance on this many maxes means that they're going to have to start bringing in more engineers to keep these maxes alive.
Yeah, because that was one of the big differences that I saw last match as well. That when it came down to it, when they had the max pushes, both sides had really good coordination to make sure that each engineer seemed to be grouped up with a max, as well as a good spread of medics across the board as well. I'm not seeing as much of that currently in this situation. I'm seeing a lot more maxes than there are engineers.
Well, this is a great opportunity now where the TR have to respond to this cap. They have to respond. They haven't got enough manpower to set up an anti-air nest. Like, and this is ample time for the VSF to start pounding that spawn room, start like destroying those flankers. But as we see, as the VS will start to bully the TR spawn, and they evidently will like switch out to anti-air mains essentially, just to give them some more breathing room. But where's the TR air? Because this is a very VS air dominant match.
Oh yeah, sure. It's actually really good to see that. Now that I'm getting a bit more perspective of how they're controlling the air so far, it's actually really working out for them.
But it can be a double-edged sword, because the more that you have in the air, yeah, you might have a dominance, you might give that more support, but at the same time, you're taking from like the manpower from the ground, and we see here, like the VS are getting whittled down, and yeah, they are constantly reinforcing, but only by a couple of guys, and it makes you wonder, like, if they could sacrifice maybe one of the libs just to give that extra manpower, but the VS there do seem to be quite making up for that, just by keeping them in their spawn. But as you can see now, they're not dealing with the TR push coming from the south. They're mainly focused on the spawn room. They're not really like securing the general area around the point. They're just focused on the spawn room.
Oh, here we go. TR brought out a lot of their mozzies with the Vanu Air. A good chunk of the Sykes has now gone down because we've got about 5 mozzies chasing down the Sykes here. So I think it's a little bit too late. Vanu, oh no, they've still got a good 2 minutes left on the timer. TR can get in a couple more good pushes.
And TR are on the steps. They are pushing in. Still quite max heavy on the VS side.
I think having those mozzies go into the air has killed a lot of their spawn options as well that Vanu has. They do have Sunderer behind the point over here as well. It hasn't been spotted by TR at all. And they're still filtering in quite easily, actually, over to the point. It's actually really smart where they put their Sunday. It's right behind their spawn room. Absolutely beautiful.
Well, while these mozzies have managed to like push back the VSR, like now you start to see more TR Liberators coming in. Hopefully it gives the TR that respite to like form a cohesive push, get a few maxes together and then start coming back into the point. Because now they've got the freedom of movement now to start poking at the A point from very many different angles. Even to the point of bringing a harasser to the party.
We've been seeing some really good harasser gameplay in these last couple of matches as well. I've actually been kind of shocked.
50 seconds on the cap.
Unfortunately, a Vulcan harasser isn't going to do too much work against
That's match.
Oh, so close. 7 seconds left, still outstanding.
I'm not too
Please
sure.
exit
I
the
think this
continent
is the,
and wait for me to tell you to come back.
So there is another round to this. This is the first round. So hopefully, once we get into the intermission, I can like reset the stream and then hopefully we can get the
halftime score is 1-0 PTSD.
As we see then the TR within the last few seconds getting the capture point back. With both teams not really having enough time to really make a difference now. As we hear now in the all call, the round has been called. So we're going to take a quick little break, which should hopefully give me a chance to start this microphone. And then hopefully within the next 10 minutes we will reconvene and then we'll carry on fresh, I guess. So, Pac, just from our brief little showcase of this match, like, what do you think so far?
Oh, hard to say. I've only just caught the tail end of it, of course, and I think you're pretty much in the same boat as well. It's a lot more diverse.
Please leave the continent to despawn your deployables. Wait on the other continent until I tell you to come back.
It's a lot more diverse from what I've seen so far in terms of the gameplay. Like air superiority is definitely going to be seems like the key for the Vanu so far.
Match will resume in exactly 8 minutes.
Going into the second round, to be honest, I have no idea what my expectation is yet. It'll be nice to see it from fresh from the start to get a good perspective on how it builds during the match.
I mean, I think I'm more hoping to like understand why there's so many like air on this lane. Maybe when they start, the lane fresh, and we'll probably see why. Because unlike the other lane that we saw earlier, which is pretty much just a linear flat ground terrain, this is quite hilly, and that's maybe why.
Oh, yeah.
And that's probably why there's more air game than there is like Sunderers and Magras and harassers on point. But maybe the teams are just matching. Essentially, because the VS have Liberators, that means the TR have Liberators, and quite a lot of teams just essentially match their opponents when they can. But I think from what we've seen so far, like both teams have like really played well from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, because you have to counter what's thrown at you. Especially if you let one side take air superiority for the whole match, then that's not going to work out for you at all. And it's actually great to see TR able to counter that with somewhat ease in the last few minutes of that last match, to actually kill off a lot of their spawn options. And well, hopefully, if we see more of that, they'll be able to keep control.
Just the quick reminder to people who are watching this stream, I'm not going to bother with the intermission slides and the music because last time it all kind of fell apart, so I'm just going to pick a mountainside and make you guys stare at that for the good next 5 minutes while we just chat about the team and that kind of thing, as you're hearing now.
It is a very complicated lane though, so I can definitely see the preference over air. We did see different spawns getting placed here. Because in the last match that I saw, they had some absolutely beautiful spawns set up just behind their base, and TR weren't noticing Vanu streaming in at all, and so they actually managed to sneak past really well to continue pushing into the point.
And it's mainly around the black shard tungsten. The Amish Reserve.
Oh yeah.
So once you get east or west of those locations, it just kind of flatten out towards Shadespire Farms, Crooks Mine itself, and in the west, you've got Crooks headquarters. But it's gonna be quite interesting to see how it starts off. I'm expecting a bigger air battle now. Now I've seen that both teams using quite a lot of air, but then again, probably smaller. Infantry fights on a neutral basis.
I'm definitely looking forward to bigger air battles. It's the rare delights I get to enjoy.
Come on back to the continent. Come on back to the continent. 4 minutes until the match resumes.
So we've just heard we just heard the old call for the people coming back onto the continent, and hopefully we will start very soon. Hopefully when I get the old call for the timer, I can manage to alt tab without crashing and reset the script.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's always a risky maneuver, alt tabbing, I feel, in this game. Obviously, we joined this stream pretty late, but hopefully, like the last game, we can get the team leaders or team reps in here just to basically fill it in what we've missed, and then pick their brains and what they thought went wrong with what went right, and what they could do differently in all kinds of questions, I guess. So I'm assuming they're going to change lane anytime soon. The admin should be changing things.
Oh yeah. Right now, giving that 8-minute timer between the matches, to guarantee the nanites coming back to both teams, as well as switching off the continent, make sure all the deployables are removed. Very important. Always good to know the procedures behind all of this.
It's quite interesting to see as well that whether or not this is an error in the script or timing, that this is a 30-minute game, but I'm sure the other game that we had was a 45-minute game or 40-minute game.
Oh, is this one just a 30-minute? Or
I'm just going off what the magical script says, but it just says 30 minutes, which when you consider the terrain and that kind of impacts it, but it doesn't impact it too much because it's all mainly about getting the spawn beacons in, getting the galaxy drops in, but at the same time not a lot of room for Sunderers on the point. In the last game you saw with WFAT and TMNT where they could bring Sunderers and harassers just to get their team back into the game. Whereas here, I mean, it kind of when you look at the terrain, it just kind of makes sense where that air dominance is required because you're going to have a lot of galaxies coming in, and
it takes armor a lot longer to navigate this kind of terrain. Like, I can imagine to set up those kind of spawn options, it takes some pretty off-road travel to even get to those points. So it's not as simple as last time where you can maybe go a minute and a half out to prep a Sunday to get to the next day.
Match will resume in 1 minute 45 seconds.
So I think we just had the call for the final minute. I think we did.
I think 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm just going off the. You said 2.5, right?
Hold, delay match for 3 minutes.
Oh, he's delaying for 3 minutes. that gave me time to like not have to worry about alt-tabbing and starting the screen. But I tell you something, like I am very much looking forward to the tournament when it gets going and seeing all these events on Jaeger, seeing all these teams again. I mean, when you think about it, like this year is a very, very good year for my side too in terms of like events on Jaeger, whether it be Lanesmash, the existing OVO system, Community Smash, PIL2. There's a lot of stuff coming, and hopefully there'll be better streamers than me.
No, well, it's a diamond in the rough. We just gotta buff it out, refine it, and it will make it look pretty in no time. That's for sure.
But one thing I have noticed, like having been involved with PSP now for like the last God knows how many years, it's nice to see.
Match will resume at 43 minutes past the hour. Match will resume at 43 minutes past the hour.
There we go. So about 3 more minutes.
I hope he's synchronized his clock on that. Come on, I might be wrong. But yeah, it's nice to see like the subtle like changes like the dev have done over the years. Like for example, now we have this observer camera which can show the names of both people, like both teams, and that alone, like, it's such a godsend. It's
such a delight. It is.
Especially like for the smaller things like PIL and the small like 6v6 and 12v12. That's going to be amazing. Especially for like the more analytical streamers who are going to like pick people's stats apart and be able to like pinpoint a specific individual and either smack talk them or give them praise.
Oh yeah, and it's nice, but just a simple change, especially into how the observer cameras work, just increases the quality, the ability to even just display on what's happening on the screen and talk it out in a lot better fashion, rather than kind of have a lot of people that are just running around with no names, and you're relying on either spots if you're on the same faction, but a lot of the times when we're streaming as well, we're typically on the third faction that isn't playing. And so we're purely reliant on pretty much only seeing the silhouettes of the players themselves and not any names. Well, that's at least back in
1 minute.
Back in previous times.
I think I have 1 minute.
Whew.
Hopefully it gives me a time, because hopefully it gives me a countdown. My finger is on the buzzer.
Well, I might go check out how it's looking at Crux headquarters if you want to look at mining.
Yeah.
30.
Or 30 seconds. It's going to be like the quickest alt tab in the West. So at Crux mining, you see, as the usual like Lanesmash, Service Mash start. It's just primarily whether or not some of these are going to be bale assaults or actual A to G.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Match start. Match start.
Well, here they go.
I managed to make it on the dot. I hope on the dot.
Oh, beautiful.
We'll watch the screen just like piling now. We have quite a lot of like VS gals coming in, but at a very, very low altitude. It's like they're taking the time, allowing the VS sides to push ahead and start contesting that TR air, which seems to be quite delayed in making their way to. Yeah,
I definitely saw that the TR side they were delayed getting off the ground, so definitely from the match start and then them taking off. This is one of the things that you see when you don't have all the players in the Discord, because right now, sorry, not the Discord, the TeamSpeak. So all the players for both sides, they're kind of in their own comms right now, and they're relying on pretty much the commands of the outfit representatives that they have here. So a lot of those commands can get delayed, and that's a bit of an issue, unfortunately.
But it's quite good to see the VS. You know, they've got a better presence at Armory Shark. You know, they've got a Sunderer, they've got Galaxies. You know, defending that Sunderer. Their Slives have like, sacrificed themselves to try and wipe the TR. But in retrospect, we see a bigger TR armor column coming towards Armory Sharks. So where the VS have gone more air, the TR have gone more ground. But at the same time, we start to see the VS Liberators like really making a work of this TR armor column. And the Mosquitoes are desperately trying to support the armor column.
We do see that the armor column has some pretty decent anti-air as well. At least two of the prowlers I think I've seen that have had ranges on there. A little bit surprised by the choice of ranges over walkers in these situations, but I think it does put a bit of a dampener on them. Now, it's going to be making sure that TR do get their spawn set up so they can start streaming infantry in. I'm seeing a Sunder in a very precarious position on one of the buildings here as well.
Yeah, it's like
PTSD, which is...
It's like the Galaxies trying to defend the VS one, and the TR have already found it already, and they're trying to take out the other Vulcan.
That's actually kind of brilliant, I like it.
But unfortunately, I don't think the Galaxies are really doing much to defend their Sunderer. Oh, they're doing quite well, actually. The Harasser's still alive.
Well, you got the... Yeah, there's the Vulcan Harasser, though. He's taken down the deploy shield, but then gets C4'd by Vanu. Managed to rescue their Sunderer, so that's good.
Looks like the TR switch firing on the Sunderer. I'm not sure if the Galaxies are mating or trying to, like...
Oh, one of them crashes into the other, unfortunately. That's going to cost them.
Well, I think TR are now on the capture point. Oh, they got worked. But as we see a bigger air battle, we see a bigger, you know, armor column. There's not a lot of infantry, and we do see a PTSD TR Sunderer, as you mentioned, like pretty much under the capture point, just ready for like the TR to spawn upon. But they don't seem to be utilising it just yet. They still have 1 minute 50 on the timer.
Like currently, I see about 12 scythes in the air, so that's like one full squad of scythes for Vanu. So it's pretty much TR are having to match that just so they can control the airspace as well for their squad that's on the ground here.
But we are seeing like a TR cordon of Mozzies. It's a line of Mozzies just trying to keep the VS air at bay, at range.
So far, they're doing an excellent job of it as well. I'll give them that. Because I'm only seeing about maybe 6 Mozzies compared to the, I'd say, what? I see about 7 Vanu air now. So it is dwindling down. And we have the point with the TR currently. Vanu getting the tank mines down, but missing. Sunder on the point here from TR. I love it. So that's going to keep some very good options trickling in there for TR.
Not a great choice of weaponry though. Maybe the Basilisk, but not the anti-air cannon. It's not really ideal for this situation. Maybe if they had like a Bulldog or maybe a Marauder or even like a double Basilisk. Especially when the anti-aircraft is like covering like the underground entrance as well.
I honestly don't expect this Sunderer to be doing too much of the defending. I think it's going to go down quickly, and like I said, yep, there it goes.
But
more of a distraction, good to get the people in.
But it would have, yeah, exactly, getting the team in, getting them, like, because as we see now, like, I'm assuming that the VS are going to, as they are now, they're going to pull more air, they're going to kick the Mosquitoes off the front line and start getting infantry in. But 20 seconds...
They got a Bulldog Harasser on point as well.
20 seconds to go. As we see more VS air arrive, still not enough VS infantry to really like capitalise on their air dominance.
No, they do have a Sunderer that's pulling up on the building out the front though, so we're going to start seeing the trickle in of their infantry, but it looks like the Scythes have their superiority now as well.
I don't know, the Mosquitoes are running on force.
No. Here come the Mozzies. Oh, I love this air battle.
I mean, all we need now is a Bastion. It's another Bastion smash. But I'd be quite interested to see if TR have managed to get any individuals onto Shadespire. And they are capturing the
So I'm going
point.
to head over there now.
3 TR with a beacon in place
Ooh,
on
point
Shadespire.
is flipping here at Shadespire. I love it.
But as both teams, get preoccupied in the air battle, it'd be quite interesting to see if VS can quickly route TR off the point, just to apply pressure to Axe, because now they have the high ground, the TR Amish Axe, and they can keep VS in the valley at Shadespire if they so need to.
Slice are heading over now.
They smell infantry for them to A to G.
Oh yeah.
We have quite
TR already have a good squad in on the point now as well. They're getting the numbers here now. It's going to be keeping the spawn options around there. That's going to be key. The Scythes are actually doing a good job taking down the beacons. Ooh, excellent work.
I'm just watching TR Maxers get bullied by Liberators, which I'm assuming is Spurs. I could be wrong.
And there's the wonderful Mag Rider that we have here. Mag Rider actually doing work, taking down a Max.
2 infiltrators completely ignoring each other. Ooh.
Heading into the spawn point here. TR are making use of putting the beacons on the staircases here so they can keep these options open.
And the 2 infiltrators have just traded. Several photon missiles onto A point there.
Yeah, TR are doing a good job staying bunched up in the middle and avoiding the windows right now. Oh.
One TR Marauder Harasser.
I'm not seeing much infantry at all from the VOON side.
Don't give up. We're still in it.
And we're already halfway through the cap. So it's an interesting standpoint that, especially when TR doesn't have much vehicle or air support, but they're very grounded in the point and have it down on lock. But you still then, for a good majority of the time, have Vanu still in their vehicles. I guess this is the big shift of trying to get them either out of their vehicles into infantry, or they're trying to shoot at people from. And I'm seeing at least 2 harassers and a Mag Rider right now, as well as some air shooting into the building, but it's just not getting the job done currently.
We have 1 minute on the capture point. We need to start seeing like a more VS infantry-centric push in some shape or form. Because the longer that the VS wait to capture this base, the longer they have to wait, and the longer they have to defend this base as soon as they capture the point. So as soon as they resecure it, they have to wait 2 to 3 minutes just to get the cap back in their favour before they can get back out there and counter-attack.
And I'm not seeing any infantry cohesion right now from Vanu. I'm seeing the odd person trickle in. I'm seeing like a lot of 1 or 2 people just heading up the staircase and then getting absolutely slaughtered from the TR stronghold that they have set up. We do have Vanu that are making it in, and they're clearing out some people, but whether they can clear out enough of their medics to actually make a big enough impact. 15 seconds left on the timer.
There's only a few TR left. The medics
here we go.
to get these guys back up. With 8 seconds left. Resonates are out. TR are reconsolidating. Let's just see if TR can capitalise. Already TR on the next base. At Crux Mining.
TR, I haven't seen some TR around here at Crux Mining. There was an infiltrator here that was sneaking onto one of the points, but it looked like that he was spotted from the Vanu air and has been taken out, unfortunately. So they haven't got the forward cap yet. I'm keeping an eye on over here if you want to stay over there. Oh, I take it back.
So we do have a VS response already. A few TR harassers on point.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Yep,
Well, there goes the
we've
beacon.
got a TR touching point now. And it is flipping.
But again, like the VS response needs to be immediate with that infantry. Push them off the point. Don't let the TR get, like, don't let them dig their heels in. We have a lone TR Fury trying to survive.
Air superiority doesn't matter if you're not fighting anything in the air. So I would, when it comes to situations where you only have, you can keep 1 or 2 people in the air while you start getting onto the infantry. And this is about the balance we were talking about before. If we had a lot of those people that were in the vehicles in air previously, how much would that affect the VS push to retake the base? TR now have the A and B point lead, so they have the timer well and truly ticking here at Crux Mining.
But as we see though, on this base in particular, it is a 3-pointer base. And the VS can't really, you don't have that presence in infantry to really push them off 1 point. But as we start to see the TR start to push out the other capture points, and that's the VS's chance really to get a cohesive force together and then literally pick off the TR as they spread out. Because if the TR don't spread out, they can't capture this base. They need to hold at least 2 points.
And this is the base where I see them having the air superiority is going to be a lot more helpful, because you're not going to get the infantry moving between points here, because they're going to be the people that are going to get caught out and are going to have going back to wherever they're spawning in. And plus, you've got a huge open seep here as well. So this is the perfect base where you get your PPA slice out, start hammering the air, because that's going to be a big challenge. Be an A point. These are where you're going to have the people that are going to really be grounded in there. So air superiority on this base, yeah, go for it. But like, you still got to have the balance, especially now. It's even more important because you have to have the balance between the points.
As you see, the TR managed to hack the terminal, which allows now TR to start pulling out more force multipliers, which is obviously going to help them spread out, which is going to obviously pick up the slack when they have to start subdividing their force composition to 2 different places. Like now they have A and B, but at the same time, as they continue to reinforce either A or B, this is the perfect time for the VS Air to start like picking away at people. Like that TR Sundara is now getting bullied by a Kazbak.
Just watching here as well. They really. I'm just watching some of the Vanu are still trickling into the points here. We see them kind of have a bit of a presence here on A point. A point's very, very much locked down currently to TR. This is going to be the big one that they want to push currently if they really want to push off, but trying to focus on getting rid of TR.
It does feel like the TR have traded their mosquitoes for just an extra like boost on the ground. Whereas the VS seems to be responding with more vehicles, more air. As we see, there's 2 TR Sundaras about to run the gauntlet.
Going up against the Magrat, and Magrat is jumping off the buildings, going after those Sundays. Another one's actually made it into the point there at A, so that's going to be a little bit tricky. But it is going into the.
The one going to B, will he make it? The Magrat is keen to chase. Unfortunately, the B Sundara does not make there.
Oh, that could be Sundara.
That could have been like their opportunity to spawn that Sundara, get on the B point. Let's put.
Do have there.
I'd like to see an F in chat for the B Sundara. And basically have Ace Thunderer version 2 coming in. VS desperate to get a C4 on it. Oh, rip. But as you can see now, the A Thunderer is alive, it's on point, it's deployed. Reinforcements coming in.
Vanu do have good control now over the spawn points. They're getting a Thunderer over to A now. That's going to be a very key point because right now TR don't really have much of a way to see outside the base. They do have that Thunderer there that's going to be helping with all their spawns in, but that isn't going to be... Like right now, this is just going to be delaying the timer for them to be holding this base right now. That's going to be until they can push out to the other points, or until Vanu can push in. As soon as Vanu have that point, they're going to be able to push back the farm and get that back cap.
I feel like the VS aren't impressed with the TR Ace Thunderer, so they brought their own.
I'm actually having a look over here.
But it's quite odd how the VS Thunderer hasn't deployed like the TR one, so they can get the team back in. We have a risky... Ooh, TR Lisa almost got run over. But the VS Thunderer goes down, but they bring in a reserve. Another TR Thunderer sneaks in and takes opportunity. Oh, and he's down as well.
I will give props to PTSD for this because I'm actually seeing a really nice tactic of them keeping one guy behind here at Shadespire Farms as well, especially while it's so close on the timer, to keep an eye out for any Vanu that do try to go for the back cap. Not sure if that was an all call or not, but it was definitely something.
Yeah, it was definitely something.
It was a murmur of a noise that we had.
Again, to the viewers, this is not in any shape or form a professional stream. This is literally a budget stream, a budget cut stream. Quite a lot of the main casters are currently doing basically meetings in order to improve their casting ability and involving scripts, overlay, that kind of thing. And essentially, yeah, we are going to be like Exhibit A, how not to stream.
Oh, we'll see. We'll get there one day, don't worry. But joined us here, so Dotsaw and Pack Tactics streaming. What is it? The D grade stream. This is what you get when you have a $100 budget and you're trying to make a $1 billion movie. Is that right?
Yeah. We are the Bollywood. The Bollywood of PSP
I
right
love
now.
it. That we'll get the music, we'll do the dance show and the performance. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that.
It seems like the VS have kind of taken a step back now. I'm hoping that they're going to get a max push together, a bigger infantry force, and just smash in there with anti-tank weaponry to get rid of that Thunderer. Because once that Thunderer goes, then the TR are a massive disadvantage.
Well, Vanu do seem very spread out right now. They haven't got a collective to try and push into the point. TR are in a comfortable position because if they keep the hold here, they don't need to move. They've then got the game in the bag.
If the VS Liberator could just fly to the northeast side of the building and get low enough without crashing into that tree, he could hit that Thunderer. He could hit that Thunderer. Because there's a slight gap. There's a slight gap between the wall and the door. As you can see now, there's a side pummeling that Thunderer. All he needs to do is get the Liberator in there and with a tank buster to start just chipping away. And that goes for the southern side as well. You see several sides trying to snipe the Thunderer, but they need to get the Liberators in there. It's like a bunch of hungry wasps in a bee nest.
It is such a challenge for this one because they've got the storm points, they've got the anti-infantry, they've got anti-max here as well for PR. So honestly, this is an absolutely good fortification. Even the barriers that they have around the point, absolutely wonderful.
This is essentially the PTSD guys essentially just biding time, just fortifying the A point while their infiltrators capture B and C point to really start dividing the EVS. I mean, as we see now, like a few into TR have gone to B point to capture that. So now, whatever VS can like spare will now have to deal with B point, because the TR have to separate. They have to go for B point or C point. They can't afford to really stay on A point unless they're gonna, just turtle down and wait till the end of the match.
Yeah, and it'll be honestly both options viable. Like if they're going for the points right now, and this is going to be proper tournament setting and not the preseason, then you're definitely wanting to be holding down the base and going for all your points possible. But geez,
it's like now we see quite a big VS infantry push on B point. Just getting rid of the few TR defending it. Hopefully they can like regroup on B point together and then start pushing to A again.
And here we go. So Vanu's retaken B point. This is a lot more open. This is a lot more opportunity for them to easily clear out this point as well. With A point though, A point is just how closed in it is. This one really is a struggle. You've got the sharp corners, you've got the open gateway for the Sunderers to get in, but that's surrounding by a wall.
But I feel like VS need to start using false multipliers. Like we start to see like more VS Sunderers coming in. But as soon as like a Sunderer or Harasser appear, like the TR are very good at responding to that Sunderer and then keeping it at the doorway, not allowing it to, put its foot in the door per se. But
here we go.
But that's the drama with this base. It's like it's quite open on one side where the TR have their Sunderer. It's quite defensible, especially with that low wall that keeps the Harasser top gun the ability to shoot over the wall whilst defending it from decimators or any sort of anti-tank weaponry.
Come on, we're losing this.
So A point's definitely going to be the key point that's defendable on this base. What about for example C point? What do you think would be a good opportunity to actually hold down C point with it being so open? As soon as you get air dominance, you'd pretty much be able to clear it out.
Because that's the thing. It's like if TR really wanted to take C point and hold C point, they'd have to invest in like mosquitoes just to deal with the VSM. I mean, all TR can do is hope to continuously send infiltrators to C point just to take a nibble at the VS and causing VS to redirect from A point or B point to C. As we see now, we have a TI infiltrator going to C point just to flip, just to be that little annoyance. And as we see, the VS have dedicated a guy to hunt him down, and I'm going to follow this infiltrator and see if he can accomplish his mission.
It's also nice to see how much the air composition has changed for Vanu as well, because we had pretty much a whole squad dedicated to air, but of course they've had to change this around because it's no longer needed and it's pretty much useless in a situation like this. They need the ground support, and we've actually seen a couple of instances, especially back on the farms on the previous base, where they didn't get that. They didn't make that switch in time. It pretty much lost them the base because of that.
But the TI infiltrator, although he accomplished his mission and died in the attempt, he managed to draw away 2 VS players who are now having to essentially double back to B point to assist their comrades on taking back B. And every single time that the TR capture another point, they have to stop their progress on A point to deal with those 2 caps. But what we do see now is that the VS have managed to establish a spawn Sunderer at A point, so essentially they could mass pull on that Sunderer, mass pull maxes, especially anti-tank maxes, and just literally just go for the Sunderer. Like, yeah, they may sell their lives and may get wiped, but the prime objective now needs to be that Sunderer. They need to focus that Sunderer. They just need to get themselves. I mean, the VS could start throwing C4 around that corner and killing those TR maxes. There's many things the VS can start to do.
We're seeing a lot of TR play focused on the southeastern side as well, but I'm actually seeing a lot of Vanu start to push from the northwestern side. I've been seeing a stream of light assaults and heavies actually start to come through that doorway now as well to try to focus that Sunderer. Just a minute ago we saw quite a few light assaults nearly take down the Sunderer via seafloor as well.
We are starting to see progress.
Yeah, we are. This is a lot better from what was happening previously. Even VS have the Sunderer now in to at least get their spawns in. Oh, it is a Bulldog Sunderer as well, so this is actually possibly their best chance to take down that Sunderer. They're going to hopefully dwindle down the maxes here that TR have, and then focus the Bulldog. Oh no, they're focusing the Bulldog straight onto the Sunder actually from out there.
Oh,
unfortunately, the Vanu Sunder goes down. Ooh.
We are seeing progress, and this is quite well done.
We are.
On the VS side, you know, just for committing to that push.
Well,
but they need to regroup now on their Sunder, which is just outside the base, and just keep applying that pressure. Because at the moment they're one step forward, two steps back. They need to, like, again, the TR managed to have that time to re-pull those maxes and reassert their dominance.
And TR now have all 3 points currently. They're losing C point, but even for this brief moment, while all of VOON is currently focused on A point, this has allowed TR send some guys out over to C point as well as B point to re-establish those points and get some valuable time on that timer. Because now look at that, they've nearly made them, like, they're making some pretty good progress. Especially, it's going to take a while to get Vanu back down to, I guess, have this base on defense now.
See, all it's taking is a few TR players to just contest B and C, which is drawing quite a lot of, like, VS resources, especially manpower away. But this is the drama of this base, and most teams will struggle with this because either they commit to one point or they decide to, you know, struggle against the other. Well,
I'm seeing some really strange situation from some of the Vanu forces here. Like, I've got a random infiltrator that's going up against pretty much the whole squad of TR and then being mowed down. He just seems very out of place. Like, he could be better to use if they all go in as a group rather than just have the one or two odd people.
We have
the composition.
One TR infiltrator occupying 4 VS players right now at C point. Actually more than 4. But everyone knows, like, if you played Lanesmash, Server-Smash, or even, like, you know, like 60 as well, how annoying infiltrators can be, especially Boltons.
Oh,
how annoying they can be.
Unfortunately, we lost the infiltrator.
But I've not seen like a big max push, like as we saw in the previous game with TMNT, where they had like 7 maxes, just use a jump tower to, like, shock and awe the enemy. Here we just seem to be seeing that dedication by VS to camp the exit with vehicles.
Well, you have to keep in mind as well, I wonder how their nanites are going, because we've been seeing so many vehicles from the Vanu side that their nanite pool might have actually dwindled, and that's why maybe it's taking them so long to even have enough to pull maxes again. So that's just me pondering about that, but it could be a possibility.
We're starting to see the VS like holding those corners now, throwing the C4 around those corners. The max is now pushing back into the corner. But what would be great if they had a Sunder to back up this push.
The great A-point defense of T20.
The Sunder is quite smoking, actually. It's been taking quite a few hits.
It's on fire. It was on fire.
But it makes me wonder, like, why the the VS have not attempted to get a Liberator just to peek through that gap, just to try and, like, because the more engineers they pull towards them to repair it, the less support that the maxes have.
It is very precise. I'll give you that. Even I can barely see that one. But it is possible. I can definitely.
But the biggest, like, contention point now is that corner. I hear 50 seconds. Is that right?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's match. That's match.
And that's the match.
PTSD wins 3-0.
I mean, I think the VS will be having PTSD after this. Maybe this to the sound of, like, TR maxes.
Oh yeah, but I still have nightmares about TR maxes, to be honest.
But as we saw then, like, both teams did quite well. From like the previous, like, half that we saw, at the very last couple of minutes, to this has been a completely different half.
No, and it was wonderful to see. I'm glad that we saw the second half here. it was very much, it came down to pretty much having the fortification in place here on the A point. They didn't have to explore much and get out of there.
Yeah.
But they kept on hitting the other points as well, which is important to keep that timer ticking, because if they just held down the A point and they kept that defense going this whole time, then as soon as they're pushed off, they can get back out. But at least
I think we can agree, though, that the real MVP for the TR right now is not the Sundra, it's not the Maxes, it's a team of 3 Spitfire turrets on A point.
They're the key players in this. Like, without them, I don't know what we'd be doing, to be honest.
They're like the backbone of PTSD right now. So I'm going to poke the 2 interviews, hopefully, if we can get some guys in here. Obviously, this was not a planned stream, and neither was the one before, but we'll try and get some representatives in, hopefully before they cut away for the night.
I will be actually quite interested to see what the squad composition is like between these 2 teams as well, because I think it's going to be a lot different to what we saw the previous match. At least I've got the feeling.
Right, so we do have a guy waiting for interview, but I don't know who the PTSD is. So I've just messaged one of the admins to see who that guy is. Obviously, these games are pre-season. The reason why they're not on the official streams. To those guys watching, hopefully in the next 2 minutes or so we can get an interview going. We'll just ask a few bog standard questions. If the team reps are willing to, indulge us per se. But these are very friendly matches, and hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, as the tournament starts going, we start to see, a lot more hype, and like I said earlier, some good casters, and some good casters are with us now in the stream. So that's great to see, especially when like when you think about this year, as I mentioned earlier, like, there's a lot of events happening. You've got Lanesmash, you've got Community Smash, you've got PIL, you've got all the little scrims and events in between. Like the other day, we had Bastion Smash, which is really great to see. But I'm just gonna.
It's even been nice to see some of the community, driving some of these events as well. Like, I think I've got word that there's going to be another Buggy Bash coming up for Harasser side, which is always going to be excellent. I like seeing the community drive a lot of this, and this is where everything comes down to as well. We're not going to have these events if there's no community to drive it. So these guys getting out there and organizing this and getting teams together, it's absolutely wonderful.
So while we wait for the PTSD guy to potentially join us, I'm just going to move us down into the waiting for interview channel, and we'll speak to the VOON rep up in the air, just so we can get the conversation started.
Wonderful.
Channel switched. User was moved to your channel.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, so basically, we're gonna ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
Sure.
So, how do you feel the game went for yourself? Anything you do differently? What your force composition, that kind of thing.
Well, what we did a little bit differently this time is we kind of took a look at the mistakes that we'd made in the past. What we underestimated, what tools we hadn't thought to use. So this time we tried to integrate dynamic armor, I guess, in there more. So, we should have, never wanted to go in there with less than a harasser or 2, or less than, different kinds of logistics on there. Running logistics in our vehicles was a lot more common now, and using like harassers as mobile spawn options. So this one, I don't think we're perfect with there. Well, we're not perfect there yet, but the patience, I guess, having patience about rushing into a point or when they would get back on point, not, freaking out about it, just kind of like, okay, they've got there, take our time, figure out the best way to push back in and do it. We focused also really heavy on trying to make sure that we had the air superiority at the beginning, because we went through the last 2 practice matches not having that for a lot of it.
And that's what we noticed, because we joined the first half essentially towards the end, I would say. And
User joined your channel.
And we noticed quite a lot of compared to the match that we were previously in, a lot more use of air. And was that because of the terrain, or was that more down to force composition per se?
It was more down to force composition, because I think we had mentioned last time, we pulled Moon in, and they're known very well for their battle valks on Emerald. And they do that really well, but those only really can be effective once you already have the air control. So we started this time as we've just been drilling a lot of ESFs lately, a lot of our better flyers, working with some of the more medium flyers and things like that, just trying to get everybody spun up so we could actually keep just a constant presence in the air a lot longer, especially with ESFs. And then from there, once we had that base of having the air, then it kind of gave the infantry a bit more breathing room to think about how they wanted to approach the point.
So do you feel
how did you find...
User joined your channel.
How do you find actually switching between the, say for example, the air composition back to infantry, especially to get that balance? Because I noticed in some points, especially on the second round for Shadespire Farms, to keep the defense there, a lot of the time I saw that there was still a lot more people in vehicles and air trying to attack the point where possibly could be used in other places to be more effective. Do you find that there was a difficulty in balance?
Well, that's one. So I guess it's the way I look at it was baby steps. First was just even having an Air Force in the first place, making sure that we can stay up in there. And then since then, I think one of the lessons we would take from this is learning, when is the good time to be switching between the two. Which roles do we want to switch on out, and kind of seeing that balance here, because it's also not going to look the same for every person. So if I were to say one of our learning lessons that we would take away from this would be micromanaging to that, because we do have a few people who will dual row. I would usually consider myself one of a generalist kind of thing, so I'll take whatever. I do like to fly, but there probably is a lot of situations where instead of having that photon pods, going in there in infantry would have been better, except for the very end there. But yeah, I would say that would be one of our lessons that we would take away from this one.
So the question to the VS guys, just from your own perspective, how frustrating was that last capture point on A?
That last oh my god, we were, it's funny, before we started this, we kind of came off the heels of two pretty rough practice matches, and we went in talking, everybody just said, again, this is a practice, we're still kind of finding our groove. It has been a hot minute since Vindicators have been in Lanesmash. And so we tempered our expectations, but then at the very end there, I would actually say it was more funny than anything, because we kind of realized that with a fight like Crux Mining, we were essentially just learning the base better with an actual... we're using it for practice then. How do we get this bus off? Because we realized as long as we had 2 other points that they could hit there, we were going to probably get stuck there a while. Yeah, we did try to clear them off, and there was a couple times, but at a certain point, you just kind of... what the time looks like. So,
yeah.
What we should have done towards the end there, and we hadn't thought about it, but not that we hadn't thought about it, but we didn't organize a really group full squad decies, just hammering the bus or things like that, trying to peek around the corners. Their medics were on point. As soon as we would drop something, it'd be right back up again. So props to those medics over at the other side. We could not get them. I just couldn't get them up, and there were a few times that we pushed back on in. Suddenly, there's 2 more maxes popping out.
And just a question to the PTSD guys. So again, saying sort of questions what do you feel went right? What went wrong? What was your force composition?
Yeah. So first of all, GG. We joined pretty late. You were tough enemies, man. For real. That was a really nice practice match for us.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was nice to actually get our infantry something to work this time too, instead of just getting farmed.
As for our plannings, big shout out to our strategist who mixed up these openers because they work really, really well. And yeah, first round was the opener mainly that worked well. The back cap on tungsten is just painful when you lose air dominance, which we did. And we couldn't manage to get further than that. But it was fine for us. Like that was a very strong improvement from our point of view. That was on point when it came to our own perspective. Second round, opener again, strong. We screwed up a bit here and there. It was kind of iffy if we could actually get it through. That last minute rush from you guys was really a pinch situation. We had luck that we had that one resonate going for us, more or less. And the most surprising thing today was Shadespire. We had the backup Sunny running. Everyone screamed their lungs out to get over there, and you left the infantry terminal alive. That helped us getting the maxes on point. Maybe something for next time to destroy that terminal in the southern building. And yeah, with the maxes, we had a strong hold, but we were lucky because they stayed in their vehicles and shelled the A point from left, right, up, down, everywhere. Wherever you go, there was an explosion. But at some point, we realized where we can stand safely, relatively safely, and where we would die. And they never really pushed us, so we got Shadespire through in one try. And yeah, Crooks Mining, we never had the ambition to actually cap it. We just wanted to bunker down. The back cap was hilarious from our perspective. And big MVP on Crooks Mining was one of our guys that brought that Sunny to A. Because with that, we could bunker down. That was really nice. And the air, of course, did a good job because that air fight must have been very decimating.
Man, the air was tough. It was a big attrition battle. VOON, you pulled a lot of air, and it was not the air that we were planning for. We were planning for lots of lock-ons. And yeah, there weren't very many lock-ons.
I believe I remember telling you guys beforehand. So there was a gentleman's agreement, and I am a firmly anti-lock-on player, and so we still had a lot of our ESFs that just don't run them anyways. But our guys really, really wanted to get. We expected that we were going to see more lock-ons, and what we really wanted in this practice is I guess I'll say we, but we needed experience getting spammed the coyotes and things like that. So, but otherwise, in the future, I don't think if we have the option to, we probably won't.
Short question. At the beginning, there was one Scythe just suiciding into Crooks Mining as a cloaker. For what reason did you do that? What was his role?
So if I'm assuming that would probably be our Sparrow Arrow that you're talking about, and the best way to describe it, we usually have him going ahead, setting up the caps, getting ready for back caps, things like that, just kind of being ready in position in the air, and maybe it's happening in vehicle terminals and things like that. But there's a lot of times too where we're actually content to let him do his thing, because we've got a lot of times too where people pushing point and he's out slaughtering the medics and things like that. So usually trust his judgment on that, but for the last two, our instructions for him definitely were to get there first and don't worry about the air battle. He's also not much of a Scythe pilot too, so his job was just to get there and do his thing early on.
So just a quick question to both teams in regards to so going into this match. Obviously, this is a friendly match. It's the actual tournament's not that far away, to be honest. But in terms of your training for this, was there any training before? Was it kind of just a turn up on the day, friendly kind of affair?
Go for it.
Okay.
I think they were a lot more involved. We heard they were a lot more involved than we were, so you start.
Okay. Yeah, we did a lot of training. We take this serious, this tournament. Like I said in a previous stream or interview, we are not reaching out for the top spots because, well, maybe. I mean, who knows? But so far, it's not planned. The most important thing is to get this team to work as one. That is our biggest goal right now, that everything works from the transition between the different levels of infantry, vehicle, and air to the small communications between the infantry guys. Once we get that done really well, then I think we will have a really good time in the tournament. And VOON was the perfect practice match for us right before the tournament to identify where we stand within our own group and within the whole tournament as a whole.
And as for us, what we worked on a lot after the last one was diversifying our style. You know, it can't just be, you know, infantry stays infantry, does their thing. You know, maybe we pull bus. We need to practice a lot more harasser squads. We practiced a lot more in vehicles because that was just where we got hammered last time. And so in a way, this gave us the ability to see, okay, this is what happens, you know, once we get the vehicle control, and then moving from there. The air side, so a lot of us were practicing independently between the groups that we knew primarily were going to be in the air and the groups we knew were primarily going to be on the ground. Because, you know, a lot of the players who do both or whatever, you know, hop in the practices either point that we could, but just getting competent pilots, experimenting around. We put a lot of thought into the initial cat base, and then medium amount into the other ones. We did not have a good planned response for at least, like, you know, once you get to corrects mining and stuff like that, getting that off. So I think reading for the future ones would be reading those bases a lot, because those are definitely ones that we fight at very infrequently. So I think for the future, definitely getting on Jaeger a little bit more early on, running some practices along those lanes. But we worked what we could on live, but live only gets you so far, and it's not always the best simulation when you got the warp gate right next by.
I think we're running out of time, but again, to both teams, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very, very much for for playing, for taking part, and obviously, especially for the upcoming tournament. To those who have tuned in to watch my extremely budget cast of this, I hope you do appreciate mine and Pack Tactics' time on this. Obviously, as the tournament progresses, there's going to be a lot more better streamers. I do apologise for any sort of like technical difficulties, especially for those who joined us from the previous match. If there's anyone in the channel now wants to add anything, I think we'll call it there.
Thank you for streaming. GG to VOON, and thank you for fighting us, VOON. You put up a staunch opposition. Is that right? Is that the right phrase?
Yeah, we believe it or not, we felt a lot better after this one, just because at least internally we could see a lot of the stuff that we were doing. Kind of, I don't know, some of the changes, actually getting to see some of the changes, because we knew you guys were going to be a tough fight on this. So
good. I'm glad it was helpful for you.
Because it was definitely for us. Like, that was a really nice practice match. I wish we had all practice matches like that, to be honest.
Yeah, that was.
Not
I mean,
winning,
win or lose, that was really good instructional.
Win or lose doesn't matter, but the pressure was on. You saw, you heard it in our comms. You saw it on the map. Like, that is what makes it so exciting in this Lanesmash.
Absolutely.
And thanks for streaming, Dotso. I thought we had a streamer, but last minute stream, thumbs up.
Yes, I basically
appreciate that.
I basically finished the debut FAT versus TMNT game, and I literally stopped my stream, and I
gonna watch all of it.
And I get a message saying, "Oh, there's a match without a streamer," and then me and Pack Tactic thought we'll just jump in and practice, I guess. But I think it might be one continuous VOD on Twitch now, so I'm hoping he saved both games. I really feel sorry for whoever that's going to upload this game.
I hope so. I want to watch. I watched everything.
I did.
Yeah, keep me in the loop.
But we did come quite late into the first half. I think we came in last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, about last 10 minutes.
Which was quite interesting, because we saw like this massive air battle going on, and all these all these strikers going up in the air. It just looked amazing.
It was really intense in the air.
So you'll see in the VOD, like, we were questioning, why is there such a big air force, and but at the same time, we saw some really good like infantry pushes, it was a pleasure to watch and cast, even if what badly. I can post my Twitch channel in here. Me streaming probably won't be a regular thing, but hopefully Twitch magic you can check the VOD again, I guess. Hopefully someone can upload it to the YouTube channel. If you guys want to, use it.
I think the organizers will, or should.
Yeah, I hope so. You think me of all people would know that, but you know, I mean, only I can mess this up, and yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for taking part. I know the friendly matches weren't really had dedicated streamers, but if you ever want to organise any sort of practice matches in the future, just let a PSB admin know or any Lanesmash staff know, and we can probably get someone to cast it, even if it's someone from your own outfits.
Awesome, sounds good. Okay, well, I'm gonna head out and get back to my own guys for now, but you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.
GG, everyone.
Yeah, GG.
GG.
To everyone viewing, I'm going to cut
User
the stream
disconnected
there.
from your channel.
Hopefully this time I can actually cut the stream and not go into another game, because I'm not going to lie, I really need a shower, because, to be honest, much respect to, a lot of the casters out there, because this is sweaty business. I am sweating right now. So yeah.
Thanks for streaming,
I'm
guys.
just really tired. It's 7:34 a.m. Been up all night. And I've got work in an hour.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's dedication.
To both teams, to the viewers, thank you for coming tonight. Hope you enjoyed. But I'm going to cut the stream there, and I'm going to get a shower because I need one.
Sounds good.
Good night, guys.
Sounds good.
Thanks for streaming, man.